How to make a casino if the world is dead, all your friends are gone, and you're slowly losing your mind. Look at you, moping around, chewing on gristle, wishing for the good old days when the biggest risk you took was spilling coffee on your last clean shirt. Well, newsflash, Buttercup, the good old days are gone, replaced by silent cities, scavengers who'd gut you for a can of beans, and a distinct lack of anything resembling entertainment that doesn't involve watching someone else get eaten by something feral. What's missing? Everything. What's happening? You're slowly going insane from the boredom, the terror, and the sheer soul-crushing monotony of existence. And what do you need to do? You need to find a way to remember what it feels like to have something at stake besides your next meal. You need to remember the thrill of a win, the sting of a loss, the sweet, sweet delusion of control. Solution: we're making a casino, or at least something that looks like a casino if you squint hard enough and haven't slept in 3 days. No worries, we're making a casino, because even when the world's a smoldering ash pit, humanity's fundamental need to gamble away its last possessions for a fleeting moment of excitement remains gloriously, tragically intact. First things first, you need a location. And by location, I mean any dilapidated, structurally unsound ruin that hasn't already been claimed by a particularly territorial band of raiders or a family of giant mutated rats. Think big. Think abandoned department store. Think the skeletal remains of a bus depot. Hell, think the burnt-out husk of a municipal library. Bonus points if you can still find a dusty copy of How to Win Friends and Influence People to use as kindling. Me? I found this gem, an old partially collapsed overpass, excellent sightlines for spotting incoming trouble, and the lingering smell of exhaust fumes really adds to the ambiance. Plus all this broken concrete, prime real estate for barricades, or, a very aggressive game of Jenga. Now the tables. Forget polished mahogany, you idiot. We're working with salvaged scrap. Find some old doors. Those corrugated metal ones from what used to be a loading dock are perfect. They're already dented, which adds character. Prop them up on whatever you can find. Rusted oil drums, stacks of sun-bleached tires, a particularly sturdy corpse if you're desperate. Just make sure it's mostly level. Nobody likes a crooked table, even when the world itself is listing to one side. If you can find some old tarps, even better. Drape them over your tables, not for aesthetics, mind you, for a tiny, pathetic shred of that pre-apocalypse illusion, the illusion that you're in a place of leisure, not a death trap. If the tarp has holes, even better. Let the rain leak through. It adds to the gritty, authentic atmosphere, or maybe it just means you'll have to play faster before everything turns to mush. Now, for the chips. This is where you get creative, because nobody's got ceramic poker chips anymore unless they looted a Las Vegas souvenir shop, in which case I have questions. Find something uniform, something relatively easy to distinguish, and something that people will actually value. Bottle caps are a classic, but frankly, overdone. Plus, they're too light. They blow away in the slightest breeze, which is a major design flaw when you're playing on a windswept rooftop. Me? I'm using these, flattened pieces of aluminum scavenged from some old soda cans. See? I hammered them flat, then used a rusty nail to scratch in some denominations, 1, 5, 10. You can also use washers, nuts, bolts, anything that has a bit of weight to it. Just make sure you have enough. Nobody likes running out of chips in the middle of a high-stakes game of will I or won't I get eaten by the roving pack of wild dogs outside. And for the deck of cards or dice, yes, the heart of the operation. If you can find actual playing cards, they're probably warped, stained, and missing half their suits. Good, adds to the challenge. If you can't, don't despair. You're a survivor, not a quitter. Look at these beauties, carved from the bones of some unfortunate critter. Don't ask what kind, you don't want to know. A sharp shard of metal, a steady hand, and enough patience to make a saint curse. that's all you need. If you're feeling fancy, you can try to dye them with berry juice or rust water for different values. Just make sure the marks are clear. We don't want any accusations of cheating right off the bat, unless you're the one doing the cheating, in which case, good for you. Survival of the slyest. The goal here isn't perfection, it's functionality. It's the illusion of normalcy in a world gone mad. It's giving people something to focus on besides the gnawing emptiness in their stomachs and the existential dread in their souls. And that, my friends, is the foundational chaos of your post-apocalyptic casino, a place where the stakes are higher than ever and the house truly always wins, because even if you lose all your chips, you still have to deal with the fact that you're still alive in this hellhole. Now that you've got your tables and your currency, it's time for the games themselves. Forget blackjack, poker, roulette. Those require too many rules, too much precision, and frankly, too many actual cards or wheels that probably disintegrated decades ago. We're going back to basics, simple, brutal, and easy to understand even when you're half-starved and sleep-deprived. Game 1, the bone roll. This is your bread and butter. 2 bone dice, player rolls, highest number wins. Simple, right? But here's the twist. The house, that's you, genius, always gets to roll last. And you, my friend, are going to be a master of the accidental re-roll, the oops, that wasn't a valid throw maneuver, and the my dice are clearly enchanted by the ancient spirits of probability excuse. The science behind this? Psychological manipulation, baby. People are desperate, they want to win, they'll overlook a lot if they think there's a chance for a payoff. To make your bone dice even more unfair, find a way to subtly weight them. A tiny sliver of metal jammed into one side, a drop of hardened sap. Even uneven carving can do the trick, just enough to subtly shift the odds in your favor without being too obvious, unless you want a mob of disgruntled survivors with rusty pipes coming after you. Game 2, the 3-cup scavenge, shell game with scraps. Ah, the classic shell game. But instead of shells, we're using whatever dented, grubby containers you can scrounge up. 3 old tin cans, 3 rusted mugs, hell, 3 cracked ceramic bowls if you're feeling fancy. And instead of a pea, you use something small, valuable, and hard to track. A shiny bolt, a spent bullet casing, a particularly pristine bottle cap. Something that makes people's eyes light up with greed. The science here is pure misdirection. The human eye is easily fooled, especially when the brain is stressed and looking for an easy score. Practice your sleight of hand. The quicker, the more fluid your movements, the less likely they are to follow the object. And when they inevitably choose the wrong cup, you shrug, collect their chips, and offer them one more chance. It's an addiction, you see, the hope of redemption. You expertly shuffle the cups, your hands moving with a speed that belies their grubbiness. You lift 2 cups, revealing nothing, then the third, revealing the shiny bolt. Too slow, pal, but hey, you almost had it. Almost. Game 3, the scrapper's wheel, crude roulette. This is where you earn your mad scientist stripes. Take an old bicycle wheel, remove the tire obviously, bolt it securely to a sturdy piece of scavenged wood. Around the rim, hammer in a series of nails. These will be your stops. Now between each pair of nails, paint or scratch a number or a symbol. Think simple, win, lose, half, double. Or if you're feeling particularly sadistic, eat rations, give rations, water, poison. Attach a flexible piece of metal, a coat hanger bent into a pointer, a spoon, anything, so it scrapes against the nails as the wheel spins. The science here is chaos theory and a bit of physics. No matter how much you try to control it, a spinning wheel has an inherent unpredictability, but you as the house can subtly influence it. A tiny bit of grease on certain nails to make the pointer slip past. A slight tilt of the table. a precisely timed flick of your wrist to give it just the right amount of momentum. It's all about creating the illusion of pure chance while gently nudging the odds in your favor. Place your bets. Who feels lucky today, or more accurately, who feels less unlucky? The payoff for these games? Besides the thrill of fleecing your fellow survivors, you're accumulating resources. Their last can of beans, their precious bottle of clean water, a spare battery for your jury-rigged radio. These aren't just chips you're collecting. They're vital supplies. Because in the wasteland, information is power, and power means survival. And a little bit of rigged gambling helps you hoard both. Now listen up, because these are the unwritten rules of your post-apocalyptic casino. Ignore them at your peril. Rule 1. Security. You are running a casino in a world where anarchy reigns supreme. This is not a quaint little card game in your grandma's living room. This is a magnet for trouble. You need eyes, you need weapons, and you need a very clear understanding of who is allowed in and who gets to provide target practice for your rusty crossbow. Set up a perimeter, barricades made of scrap metal, old car parts, anything that slows down an aggressor. Station lookouts. Not your best friend, because your best friend might be a liability. Someone expendable, someone who owes you a favor or a kidney. And you, my friend, need to be armed, not just for defense, but for intimidation. A visible, menacing weapon, a large wrench, a sharpened rebar, a particularly nasty-looking cleaver, reminds everyone who's really in charge here. It's not about fair play. It's about making sure your customers understand the consequences of not playing by your rules. Rule 2, the stakes. What are people betting? Not just your handmade chips. They're betting their meager possessions, their last MRE, a half-full water bottle, that precious scavenged roll of toilet paper, a single working bullet. This is why your chips need to represent something of value. They are a proxy for survival itself. But you, as the house, also need to offer something enticing. Not just the illusion of winning, but tangible rewards. A decent meal, a clean rag, a few sips of your carefully distilled water. A warm, if slightly rodent-infested blanket for the night. Make the risk worth the potential reward, even if the odds are stacked against them. Hope is a powerful motivator and a powerful currency. Rule 3. Know your customers. Every survivor who walks into your establishment has a story. They have needs, they have weaknesses, and you, my friend, are going to exploit every single one of them. Is someone desperate for food? Offer them a game where the prize is a can of peaches. Are they parched? A chance to win a precious water purification tablet. Are they just lonely and bored? The sheer novelty of a game, any game, will draw them in. Learn their tells. Learn their desperation. Use it. This isn't about friendship, it's about survival. And in this world, that means understanding human nature at its most base, most vulnerable, and then capitalizing on it. Rule 4, don't get greedy too soon. It's tempting to strip everyone bare, take their last everything. Don't. Not immediately. A casino, even a post-apocalyptic one, needs repeat customers. Let them win occasionally. Give them a taste of victory, just enough to keep them coming back, chasing that high. The science here is reinforcement learning. Intermittent rewards are more powerful than constant ones. If they win too often, it loses its thrill. If they never win, they'll stop playing. Find the sweet spot of occasional success, just enough to fuel their delusion they'll break the bank. You're building a loyalty program, wasteland style, and eventually, inevitably, they will lose it all. That's when you strike. That's when you offer them credit in exchange for their labor, their services, or perhaps that shiny trinket they've been hoarding. You're not just a casino owner, you're a warlord of chance. So, you've got your dilapidated casino, you've got your crude games, you've got your desperate clientele. What's the payoff? This glorious, oily, salty tin of sardines. This is your profit. This is the resource you've accumulated through the subtle art of rigged odds and human desperation. The science of your casino isn't about elaborate physics or chemistry. It's about understanding human psychology under duress. It's about the primal urge to risk, to hope, to escape the mundane horror of survival, even for a few minutes. You're not just providing a game, you're providing an experience, a fleeting moment of control in a world utterly devoid of it. Your casino generates more than just food and water. It generates information. People talk when they're gambling. They boast. Your casino becomes a hub of intelligence, a spiderweb of rumors and whispers, all flowing back to you, the cunning spider at the center. While others are out there fighting for scraps, or digging through irradiated ruins for a single rusted nail, you're sitting pretty. You're letting the resources come to you. You're turning hope into sustenance. You're turning boredom into profit. And if someone accuses you of cheating, well, you simply smile. Cheating? My friend, in this world, cheating is just another word for survival strategy. The engine growls. Your casino is thriving. You're not alone, or worse, you are, and you're the only one winning. Now go forth, you beautiful, desperate gambling fools. May the odds be ever in my favor.